Hello guys, welcome back to another episode review of Hollyoaks for Monday 22nd September 2025. I was a bit taken aback by an answer, to be honest. I found it very shocking that she was kind of like gaslighting Darren a little bit. She's probably one of my favourite characters, but the way she was kind of trying to come across as the victim in all this, I was hugely taken aback. This isn't the same Nancy that we all know, and the way she kept talking about her job, people, students, spitting at her and stuff, and she's coming back home. She has to organise all the kids' lunches, clothes, appointments, everything, and I think the list kept going on and on. And we always value, sort of parents' hard work, but she was trying to use that as an excuse for sleeping with Darren's best mate, and not just that, having a baby, Morgan. And then about 4 years later, she's now telling the truth, after the chaos of Morgan being missing. I'm not sure now. I think Nancy has been surprising me a lot lately, and I think the writing has gone a bit haywire. So I'm not blaming the character at all. I think there's a bit of a writing synchronization issue. The fact that she's now, it's almost as if she's changed character, and I think it's not consistent enough for us as viewers. We've never seen her and Tony being romantic to each other. This picture is the flashback, as you can see, of her and Tony supposedly getting on in that night. Yeah, I think it's a bit ludicrous. Normally, I don't, criticize the writing much. I give a bit of hinters, but it has to be probably one of the poorest pieces to put together, because we can't picture that as viewers. And they've never had any. It was a very platonic friendship between Nancy and Tony, and now we're supposed to believe they've actually got together one night. I can see how they're trying to play it off as, they're trying to show the flashback scene as they were both drunk. They were both drinking beers. I'm sorry, but it's not like Nancy hasn't drunk before, and she wouldn't do something as stupid as this. I'm not saying Darren's a saint. Of course, he did cheat on her with Mandy, but he didn't have a. Well, it turns out DJ was his, but I don't know. What do you say now? They're even, guys. Nancy and Darren. It's a difficult one. Elsewhere, we've seen Tony being rushed to the hospital. Diane was fighting his corner. If only Diane known what has happened between Nancy and Tony about 4 or 5 years ago. And yeah, I feel like Diane and Tony are in a good place now after the 500th attempt. I feel like this will just blow Diane over the edge, and Tony would have no one left to fight his corner. I feel like Nancy and Darren will find out Tony's in hospital, and they may agree to not tell Diane and Tony for now. I don't know, because Darren's all over the place as well. I do feel for him. I feel for Nancy only because the writing has, or the writers have almost ruined her character a little bit, because she was the lovable, Nancy, who does what's right, and now this has kind of completely distorted the perception of the character Nancy. Anyway, I do feel like Joel is working for either Warren or someone else. He's probably taking orders. Whoever's telling him to beat up Tony obviously has something against him. The only thing that would make sense is Warren. They're laying a foundation for Warren to return to Hollyoaks, and he's probably saying to Joel to beat Tony up, because obviously Tony slept with Mercedes, and Warren is in love with Mercedes. But yeah, it's all, and then you got Detective Dodger as well. Not rubbing two brain cells together and actually believing that his own twin sister can murder about 7 or 8 people, and finding a list that Jez has planted in one of Sienna's clothes in the washing machine. It's all a bit ridiculous, to be honest. I do hope Sienna and Steve return soon. I did quite like Jez at one point, especially when he got rid of Abe. You know, he's a nasty character who raped Perry. But now he's just killing innocent people, and he just needs to be stopped. And you know, I wouldn't mind at this stage if Jez went and Sienna and Steve came back. Let me know what you thought of the episode, guys. I'll see you in tomorrow's episode review. Peace.